Thank you for coming to the interview. My name is Spencer Palmer, and this is Char Romberg. So, Char, what is your first experience? Your first experience you had with someone with autism?
I was living in Alaska and I saw a job posting for a behavior technician for a 2.5-year-old. And previously, I had worked with different types of neurodiversities, but never autism. And so this was going to be my first opportunity. And I went and interviewed with a family, and they said that they got services from a company called Autism Partnership, which at the time I didn't know. Living in Alaska, the services mostly came from school districts and from insurance companies up there. And then Autism Partnership came up, trained all of us, and that was the beginning of my lifelong love of ABA.
What is your educational path to help people with autism?
I have a bachelor's in psychology and I have a master's degree in education and applied behavior analysis, both from Utah Valley University.
Tell me about a funny experience you had someone on the spectrum.
Wow, I have a couple. One, I was working with somebody and they were like chewing on an eraser and they were real little and all the replacement behaviors didn't work. And so one time I just kind of went in like a stern voice of, "Oh, that's yucky." And the student looked at me and was like, "No, it's yummy." I kept eating the eraser and it was like, well, yeah, you know what? There's a reason that she's eating the eraser. It's because she likes it. It's not yucky to her, to me. Another, I don't know if this is a funny experience, but one of my all-time favorite jobs was being able to run an inclusive summer camp. And I got to help bring kids with autism and other neurodiversities and disabilities to do recreational activities throughout Utah Valley. And one of the most fun things was rock climbing up in Draper. And then the next day we went swimming and I had a little boy tell me, he's like, "Okay, I liked rock climbing, but man, swimming's my favorite." And he had his mom sign him up for like 5 more weeks of summer camp. And every time swimming was his favorite. And so we made sure that like we got to build that in.
Why do you think so many people are diagnosed with autism?
Why are so many diagnosed with autism?
Yes.
I think we have better ways to diagnose it now. We understand things a lot better. We have fMRI imaging to be able to watch the neuropathways go and find some similarities. I also think that families are a little bit more aware and less afraid to be able to get that diagnosis. And then I also think there's programs throughout the country, but like here in Utah, we've got the Autism Studies minor at UVU, and just having everybody be able to take those courses and understand autism a little bit better, I think then spreads awareness and helps people get diagnosed.
What is the most significant cause of autism?
Right now, research shows that there's a biological factor and an environmental factor. And between those two, research is still looking to see. And so the short answer is we don't really know, right? But we know for sure there's a biological factor and environmental factor.
What are you currently working?
I work at Scenic View Academy. It's a transition school for young adults with neurodiversities like autism. And students come live on campus and they live there 1 to 3 years and learn how to be an independent adult and hopefully launch into adulthood with job and living skills. I also teach at UVU in their Autism Studies minor class.
What treatment do you use with people on the spectrum?
The only evidence-based is applied behavior analysis, and that's what I use every day.
What are some of the different issues on the spectrum present their autism?
One of the biggest things we see are social skills or social deficits, is being able to recognize like just the day-to-day, the hidden rules is like what we'd call them, is being able to recognize those things and have the understanding of just the social norms. Another big deficit can be what we call stereotypical behavior or repetitive behaviors, or anything that interrupts or prevents someone from engaging with the rest of the world.
What are some of the different issues what do you see the future for those on the spectrum?
I think the future is great. Fortune 500 company research showed that, or predicted, they predicted that in the next 10 years that over a quarter of the Fortune 500 companies will be actively seeking those with autism and other neurodiversities to be part of their teams, because what we've seen through like Microsoft is the need and the demand for a neurodiverse individual and all that they contribute. I also think we're seeing like great research and of early intervention, and then also like recently the federal government changed the laws about ABA for those with adults with autism, and now insurance have to cover that. And so now adults can continue to get services, whether it's like coach services or just social skills and stuff like that. So I see the future being great.
What implications did the Autism Center have on you before it was built?
At the Melissa Ellison Center?
Yes.
Well, because of the Melissa Ellison Center, I was able to get my master's degree. That's where that was founded. And being able to have a really high caliber of a master's degree program, it's the number one in the state now. We have like the test scores to show that now. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to get the degree I did. And I also think it provides a sense of community and belonging for those with autism and other neurodiversities to have a place on campus, have a part of a university where it's safe, it's welcoming. Without that, we would not have that community of belonging.